But I'm told that actually perennials of all kinds, particularly herbaceous perennials, are very unusual in Spain. People don't really know how to grow them. It doesn't suit the climate, and they're very hard to get hold of. So borders like these are absolutely exceptional. And dominating the garden at the back is a panera, a typical Asturian granary, which, like so much else, was moved from the original site. I talked to Marta Argüelles, the owner's daughter, who was born the year that her grandfather started the incredible task of relocating the house and garden. Can you remember anything about that moving? Because it must have taken a long time.
I think it took about 2 years, and I've heard so much stories.
It is an extraordinary story to move a large house.
Yes.
I guess that it's so embedded in your family's story that you all take it as sort of natural.
Normal thing, yeah.
We moved house. Most people moved to another house.
Yeah.
But you just moved everything.
Yeah.
What was the garden like when you were a small child?
It was simpler. We've been building it over time, and my father has grown this great love for gardens, and it's become more sophisticated.
And in the front of the house, did they try and replicate what was there before?
They were really sorry to lose the big old trees that had some centuries. If they could bring something, they did. What they couldn't bring, they had to say goodbye. But the things they could save, they chose to save them.
Just everything,
Yeah.
everything that came. Eventually, will you live here? Will this be your house?
I hope so.
And if somebody starts a mine down the road,
What
will
should
you
I do?
move it?
I'll ask some advice. But if we've done it once, you can do it twice.
When I left the Finca El Cueto, driving down small lanes through the countryside, I couldn't help noticing repeated scallop shell signs, indicating that even this rural backwater was on the Camino. And sure enough, I soon came across a group steadily making their long pilgrimage to Santiago. On the way, I stopped to climb up to a vantage point to get a bird's eye view of this extraordinary landscape of this relatively little-known part of Spain.
This is a fantastic place to look down on the Asturian coast and see the way that the green countryside just goes right up to the water's edge. But I'm struck by the fact that today, everybody I met commented on how hot it was. It has been a hot day. And how that these days are becoming more frequent. The climate is changing, and that's changing the way they garden, it's changing the way they live. And it did cross my mind that maybe, as a result, that the lovely greenness and coolness that draws so many Spanish people to get away from the heat in the summer months may become a thing of the past. Anyway, it's time to leave Asturias now, because I'm going on to the Basque Country.
I'm heading northeast to Bilbao. Once the heartland of the country's heavy industry, this city is now famous for its Frank Gehry-designed Guggenheim Museum, as well as a highly contentious floral sculpture. This puppy has sat faithfully guarding the Guggenheim since 1997. It's more than 40 feet tall, and the West Highland Terrier is covered with a multicolored coat of flowering plants.
Jeff Koons' puppy is either famous or notorious, depending on your point of view. And I confess that I came here really not expecting to like it. But to my surprise and delight, I actually rather love it. I think it's got all the energy and charm of a real puppy. And coming from someone who loves dogs, that's high praise. And I think a lot of that has to do with the fact it's made out of flowers. And not just any old flowers, these are annuals, which means that they change from day to day, they have a very short lifespan. And that sort of ephemerality gives it life.
Twice a year, in May and October, all the plants are removed and replaced with new ones with similar colors, but which are more suitable for that growing season. So pansies and violas feature strongly for autumn and winter, with petunias and